What's up, guys? I'm going to talk about, because people have been asking me this for quite a while now, most recently, especially, and I was like, why haven't I ever talked about this? I really don't even know why, but it's basically my favorite Mass Effect characters from 1 and 2, either of them. I think people that have been following me for a while kind of have an idea. I've mentioned here and there some of my favorite characters, but I've never really talked about it. I've never really said these are my favorite characters. So I'm going to do that right now. Okay, so these aren't going to be in any particular order. I will mention who I like the most and all that. So let me just start with my favorite Mass Effect character, Garrus. I love Garrus. I don't even know why. He's just freaking awesome. I love his voice. I love the way he looks. I love his personality. I love that he's a sniper. I love everything about Garrus. He's just so loyal. He just seems like he's such a good friend. And he's funny. I really would have liked to see a little more of him. Like more interaction of him in Mass Effect 2. He was too busy calibrating. Another character that I really like is from Mass Effect 2, Legion. I've talked about this before in another video, that I just love the concept. I love that he's a Geth that's not a heretic. He's like, a Geth that, like any other Geth, that hasn't been brainwashed by the Reapers. And I just love that he's got the N7 armor, like his arm, and I find it so awesome. I love Legion, his voice, everything. How he questions things because he's a robot. It's freaking awesome. Captain Anderson, I think he's such an awesome character. Just because he's kind of like, I always loved like the mentor character, like in Lord of the Rings, Gandalf. Like the mentors. I love those roles. And Anderson is the mentor in Mass Effect. He's Shepard's mentor, and he's just so true to what he believes in, and I just love that nobody could manipulate him, even if it puts his job in danger or even his life. He doesn't care. He will do it if it's for a good cause or for a friend. Like in Mass Effect 1 when he got shot, or that was one of the options, because he wanted to help Shepard. He wanted to get the Normandy off the Citadel. I was just like, man, this guy's awesome. I love this guy. And he was in the first book and in the third book. I think he was mentioned in the second book, but he was a main character in the first and in the third, and you just got to know more about him, like a different side to him, and I just grew to love Anderson a lot more than I already did with the books. Tali, I actually didn't. I've mentioned this before. I didn't really like Tali in Mass Effect 1, just because she seemed so immature and naive, and I was just like, I really didn't see the point to Tali in Mass Effect 1. I hardly ever took her on my squad. I didn't find her interesting. And in Mass Effect 2, that changed so much. There was so much to Tali. Her loyalty mission was one of my favorites. Just seeing her again, she was like one of the first ones that you saw again. And I just felt like, oh my god, Tali! And then you see that she's got like this crush on Shepard if you're a male, and even if you were a female, she's got this like connection to you, no matter what gender you are. She just like really cares about you, and I just love that about Tali. I think she's so sweet, and she still has that naiveness to her. I think it adds so much to her, so much personality to her. She's kind of like that character where she's naive, or she seems naive, or she seems innocent, but there's another side to her that that you don't see all the time, and you're just like, you're kind of wowed all the time, where you're just like, wow, I didn't know Tally had that in her. But yeah, I grew to love Tally. Rex. I think Rex is an awesome character. He's by far my favorite Krogan. He was one of my favorite characters in Mass Effect 1. And I just think he's so awesome. I love his voice. I love that he's not your typical Krogan. Like, he still has that fighter in him, of course. Like, he's by definition, he when it comes to his personality, everything, he's a Krogan. But he's got this other side to him. It's like he's smart. Like, he's smarter than most. Like, he's not. He hates that people think that Krogans are brutes. Like, that they're all muscle and no brain. And Rex proves that they're not. Like, Rex is. He's like, people just hire us for mercenary work, but they don't know that, we're not just a freaking gun. We're not a weapon. We're more than just that. And I love, if he doesn't die in Vermeer, I love that when he comes back in Mass Effect 2 on Tuchanka, that he's the clan leader, that he's doing different things. Like, he's actually putting his time and the effort to looking into like plant life and why that's not, like, trying to fix that. And and I mean, another Krogan, the scientist, was like, he doesn't have me looking into things that explode. He has me investigating plants. And I love that about Rex, that he's so, he's a pure Krogan, but at the same time, he uses his brain. I don't know what it is about Admiral Hackett that everybody, or at least a lot of people, just love. I think it's his voice, because he didn't come out physically in Mass Effect 1. He came out a lot in Mass Effect 1, but just his voice. He came out way more than in Mass Effect 2. In Mass Effect 2, I think he was only, like, mentioned, and then he finally made an appearance in Arrival for the first time. But in Mass Effect 1, he would give you a lot of missions. You would hear him a lot on the Normandy. And I just grew to love Admiral Hackett. And I think it was because of the way, you know how some people have this certain voice that just kind of calms you, where you feel like you don't even have to meet them in person to know that they're a pretty nice guy. Like, they have like this soothing thing about their voice, or like this, like, you can almost read so much into the voice. And that's what I got about Hackett when I would hear him all the time in Mass Effect 1. And I loved him. I was always like, I want to see Hackett. We have to meet Hackett. And when he wasn't in Mass Effect 2, I was so disappointed. I was like, why did they not bring Hackett? But yeah, Hackett is one of my favorite characters. I want to see more of him, because we've seen so little of him, and he's such an awesome character, such a loyal soldier, kind of like Anderson, except Anderson almost has a little more fire than Hackett. Anderson is kind of like Shepard, a little burnt out just because of his age, but he still wants to be in that position. And Hackett is more of the reserved soldier in charge. Like the high in command, but at the same time very fair and just. And I love that about him. Arya is by far my favorite Asari. I'm not a big fan of the Asari. I think they're awesome, but I like other species more than the Asari. But Arya is the freaking coolest. I just love how she doesn't give a crap. She doesn't care about anything. And if she does, she will never show it. In the book, in Retribution, the third book, you could see a little bit of her caring. If you haven't read the book and you don't want me to spoil this, I won't go into this. But if you have, you know what I'm talking about. You see that she does care, but she never shows it in the way that like, oh my god, I care so much about you, like I was so worried. No, she never shows that. She's more of like, you could see that she cares, like you could read into it, but she reacts like, oh hell no, they did not just do that to me, go rip their face off now. You know, like she gets revenge. If someone crosses her, or if someone crosses somebody that she cares about, she gets revenge. She doesn't just go like, she doesn't sit there and go, why? Why did they do that to me? No. She's gonna rip your face off. And she doesn't care about anything. If you're her friend, but then you slap her in the face, she will freaking kill you. She does have this sense of loyalty as well. If you're good to her, she's good to you. So she's very fair. She has that whole system of, you get what's coming to you. You know, like, screw me over and I'll screw you over even worse. Kind of like, she wants to teach people their lesson, to never do that ever again, and not just them, but others around them. Kind of like using them as an example. I love how conceited she is. Like, she's conceited and she knows it and she likes it. Like, she flaunts it. She's so confident of her power and of her position, and of her capabilities, that she doesn't care. She's like, what do I care what you think, you little person. I can't wait to see more of Arya. And if she's if she's gonna be on our team, I'm gonna flip.